Hey guys, welcome back, and we're going to be going over today potential ESPN Fantasy Hockey League plans due to the COVID-19 outbreak. I think up to this point, so far, I have a pretty good team. A couple changes here and there. I think I added Panarin, Eichel, Sorelli, gave away some players, but overall, I think we had a pretty good year. Ended up with 19-3. That's good enough for top in the league. So the way playoffs are in my league is 6 players make the playoffs. Top 2 seeds get bye weeks into the second round, and the bottom 4 teams have to play out to see if they play either the first seed or the second seed. I was fortunate enough to make a first seed, but due to this COVID-19 outbreak, every league around the world has stopped. And so far, fantasy hockey is just on hold, as is the NHL season. So here's some possibilities for what could happen to the rest of the league coming up soon. So ESPN put out this message to everybody saying, "We are aware the NHL season has been paused due to the ongoing coronavirus and COVID-19 outbreak. As further details of schedule changes are known, ESPN fantasy hockey schedules and matchup periods will be adjusted accordingly. We will announce those changes when we have the necessary information to do so. While the season remains paused, we have taken steps to extend the current matchup scoring period. This will ensure that the matchups will not advance at this time. We will continue to monitor the situation and adjust matchup periods accordingly." This means that, honestly, ESPN has no clue what's going on either, or really what they're going to be able to do, because if the NHL cancels its season, then obviously ESPN Fantasy Hockey is canceled. If it is extended, then they'll be able to extend the scoring period, and we'll be able to have playoffs, and we'll be able to find a champion for your league. But on the other hand, the NHL has also thought about possibly going right into playoffs when NHL hockey resumes. If this were to happen, then more than likely all of the progress that you've made during your 22-week-long stint here will be pretty much erased, unfortunately. But there are other possible ways for them to continue fantasy hockey for a little bit. One thing I thought would always be interesting would be to have playoff fantasy hockey through the 16 teams that are making the NHL playoffs. Pick players within those teams, as maybe your teams would be a little bit smaller than they are now, due to the fact that you would want to keep the quality of the players still very high, but also have high scoring games as well. Now, see, this idea might be a little far-fetched, so my hope is that the NHL season will resume sometime shortly. Unfortunately, though, an Ottawa Senators defenseman, Nikita Zaitsev, just tested positive for the coronavirus. Unfortunately, the NHL put out a statement a little while ago saying that NHL play will resume in about 2 months. Now, unfortunately, this could end up like the NBA season, as Rudy Gobert and others tested positive for COVID-19, but the NHL only has one player so far, so hopefully once Nikita Zaitsev heals up and nobody else tests positive for it, the NHL season will resume. But 2 months would be the minimum wait, as we are hearing so far. What this means timeline-wise would be that we would see playoff hockey in around June or July, starting up at around them. But hopefully it'll come back a little bit sooner and we'd be able to finish up the season. Now, if hockey resumes in about June or early July, we might have to just go straight into playoff hockey, as the new season would start up in about October, and they need that gap in between. So we might just see straight into playoff hockey instead of resuming the rest of the NHL season. So long story short, there are 2 possible options here. Number one being that the NHL season comes back relatively soon, and fantasy hockey is able to continue where it left off and could continue through the regular season into the playoffs as it normally would. Or the option two, it could just go straight into the playoffs, the NHL playoffs, and there would be no fantasy season unless they were to do something like fantasy playoff hockey. I know for me and a lot of people, this is going to be a bummer for us if we can't play the rest of the fantasy season because, I thought I had a pretty good team this year. I thought I could win the championship again. I was really excited for it. But, things like this happen. Life goes on. And, at most you can just hope for right now is that everybody stays healthy and this doesn't blow out of proportion and that everybody can come back the next year and pretty much just, kind of got to cut your losses if the season's over. But as of now, just keeping my head up, not really thinking about it, just going about my daily life, practicing the steps that they said in order to stay clean of the virus. Steps being like, washing your hands, practicing social distancing, only going out when you need to. All these things in order to prevent the virus. But I just hope everybody stays healthy. We're able to get all these sports, basketball, all the spring sports and hockey, obviously, get all these sports back and everybody healthy and safe and back to enjoying life. So it'll just take time, and I'll give everybody updates as this progresses. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, and see you guys next time.